We finally have an answer to the question of where the ancient leader Moses was laid to rest.
Since then, no prophet has risen in Israel like Moses, whom the Lord knew face to face.
Beneath the Sea of Galilee, a groundbreaking revelation could reshape our views on history and religion. With Josh Gates leading the way, this exploration could turn biblical stories upside down.
Moreover, I have heard the groaning of the Israelites, whom the Egyptians are enslaving, and I've remembered my covenant.
What forgotten truths are waiting in the shadows of this ancient tomb? Let's look into what really happened in Moses' final days. Josh Gates' quest to find the lost cities. According to the biblical tradition, he ended up on the other side of the valley and he died at Mount Nebo. Could the final resting place of Moses, a figure revered across centuries and faiths, finally be within our grasp? In a groundbreaking expedition, researchers have unearthed clues pointing towards what could be one of the most significant archaeological and religious discoveries of our time, Moses' tomb. As we explore deep beneath the Sea of Galilee, a surprising structure has been uncovered.
Accumulated after the structure was built.
Right.
Based on this sediment accumulated above the base, we assume that it was built about 4,000 years ago minimum, or perhaps even earlier.
Casting new light on what we know about ancient times and biblical stories, particularly involving the tale of Miriam's well. This intriguing find sparks our curiosity and pushes us to question the historical accounts we've long accepted as truth. Could this change our understanding of ancient history, the foundations of various faiths, and even alter our perception of the landscape in the Middle East? Leading this thrilling exploration is Josh Gates, a well-known and bold adventurer who hosts the popular show Expedition Unknown. Together with his dedicated team, Josh embarks on a mission to dive deep into the waters of the Sea of Galilee. Their goal is to uncover any hints or artifacts that could illuminate the story of Miriam's well, a story woven deeply into the fabric of biblical lore. While it's clear they're not searching for a mystical rock that traveled with the Israelites, the possibility remains that what they find could link directly to the legendary events of the Exodus. This travel is a significant quest that could provide fresh insights into biblical events.
After all, someone this significant must have been buried with some real pomp and circumstance. So I just have one question. Where's Moses?
That have mystified scholars and believers alike for centuries. What secrets lie beneath these ancient waters? How might these discoveries challenge our understanding of the narratives that have shaped the history and faith of countless individuals across the world? With each clue unearthed by Josh and his team, the story of our past gets potentially rewritten, making us wonder about the real events that inspired the stories in the Bible. According to tradition, this well-provided water was given to the Israelites during their 40 years in the desert, a miraculous source of sustenance directly linked to Miriam, the sister of Moses. The discovery of an underwater structure in the Sea of Galilee presents the possibility that this legend might have a basis in historical reality. Miriam, Moses, and Aaron's sister, plays a crucial role in the Exodus narrative. She is first introduced to us as the watchful sister who ensures the safety of her baby brother Moses as he floats down the Nile in a basket. One day, as Pharaoh's daughter went to the Nile River to bathe, she encountered a small, crying baby boy floating in a basket among the reeds. Moved by compassion for the helpless infant, she decided to take him in as her own. She named the baby Moses, explaining that his name meant drawn out of the water because she had lifted him from the river. As Moses grew, he became a central figure in his community, but his story intertwines with that of Miriam, a woman who would later rise to prominence among her people. Moses' sister Miriam played a crucial role throughout the Israelites' travels. Her connection to water, a symbol of life and renewal, is a continuous theme in her life story. From watching over her brother by the Nile to leading the Israelite women in celebratory song and dance beside the Red Sea, Miriam's life was deeply entwined with these waters. The Red Sea crossing itself was a moment of great triumph, as it marked their escape from Pharaoh's oppression and their passage into freedom. Miriam's significance continues in the tales of the Israelites' time in the desert. According to Jewish tradition, after the Israelites miraculously escaped the clutches of Egypt, they found themselves in a barren wilderness. Here they were sustained miraculously by manna from heaven, But equally important was the water that came from a miraculous well. This was no ordinary water source, but one that traveled with them, appearing wherever they camped. This well was believed to have been provided by God, specifically in recognition of Miriam's righteousness and her pivotal role in the deliverance and survival of her people. Thus, Miriam's life and her actions left a lasting imprint on her community, symbolized by the life-saving waters of the well that bore her influence. Her legacy is a story of strength, leadership, and divine favor, underlining how crucial she was not just to her brother Moses, but to the entire nation of Israel as they navigated the challenges of escape and survival in their quest for a promised land. Her story, rich with themes of salvation and sustenance, reminds us of the enduring power of faith and righteousness across generations. The well is described as a rock that rolled along with the Israelites, springing forth water when needed to quench their thirst in the barren desert. Its waters were said to be sweet, a symbol of the spiritual and physical sustenance provided by God to his people. The significance of Miriam's well extends beyond its role as a water source. It represents God's ongoing provision and care for the Israelites throughout their desert wanderings. The well's presence among the people was a tangible sign of God's covenant, a reminder of his promise to guide and protect them until they reach the promised land. As we watch Miriam as she swims through the deep waters of the Sea of Galilee, finding amazing hidden bits of history, closer, what secrets might the waters of the Sea of Galilee hold about the ancient stories we thought we knew? Miriam's strange discoveries beneath the waves. Moreover, the well not only represents the crucial role of faith in daily life, but also highlights the significance of strong, righteous leadership. Miriam, alongside her brothers Moses and Aaron, played a pivotal role in guiding and supporting their community. Moses delivered God's laws, Aaron acted as a mediator, and Miriam, through her association with the well, provided essential water and support to the Israelites during their travels in the desert. This well was not just a physical source of water, but a symbol of Miriam's spiritual and leadership qualities, deeply nurturing the community in times of need. The impact of Miriam's contributions became particularly evident after her death. According to the Book of Numbers, the Israelites suddenly found themselves without water immediately following her passing, implying that the miraculous well that had sustained them also disappeared with her. This event underscored the profound connection between Miriam and the life-giving well, symbolizing her ongoing influence and the loss felt by the community in her absence. This lack of water led to another critical moment in the Exodus narrative, when Moses, in his desperation to provide for his people, struck a rock to bring forth water. However, this act was seen as a disobedience towards God's commands, resulting in Moses being punished. He was forbidden from entering the Promised Land. This story is not only a pivotal moment in the biblical account, but also emphasizes the themes of faith, leadership, and the consequences of actions. The Sea of Galilee, where these events are commemorated, is not just a significant location due to its biblical ties, but also because of its archaeological and geological importance. Recent discoveries beneath its waters have intrigued historians, archaeologists, and scholars of biblical studies. These findings may offer new insights into the historical and scriptural accounts of the Exodus. Known as the Sea of Galilee anomaly, this underwater discovery has sparked widespread interest and debate over its origins and what it might signify, particularly regarding its potential link to the biblical story of Miriam's well. Could this anomaly beneath the Sea of Galilee be connected to these ancient stories? Religions often weave significant natural landmarks into their sacred narratives, imbuing landscapes with profound spiritual significance. The discovery of the anomaly thus raises questions about the ways in which geographical features are integrated into religious traditions, and whether this particular feature could be a direct connection to the legendary events of the Exodus. As scholars and archaeologists continue to explore this secrecy, the discussion it generates enriches our understanding of religious history, the role of natural landscapes in sacred texts, and the enduring legacy of biblical figures like Miriam. The anomaly beneath the Sea of Galilee was first detected in 2003 by Israeli scientists using sonar technology to survey the lake's bottom. During their exploration, they stumbled upon an enormous cone-shaped structure composed of basalt rocks and boulders. This massive structure, located about half a mile northwest of the Sea of Galilee shores, was immediately noticeable for its significant size and unique composition. It spans over 230 feet in diameter and rises about 39 feet above the lakebed. The estimated weight of this gigantic structure is over 60,000 tons, which indicates that its creation was no small feat and involved a major concerted construction effort. The intrigue surrounding this underwater formation is heightened by its location in an area rich with biblical history, prompting some to link it to Miriam's well. According to Jewish tradition, Miriam's well provided water to the Israelites throughout their 40 years in the desert. While the Bible doesn't detail the well's fate after the Israelites arrived in the Promised Land, there are beliefs that it either vanished or was hidden. This has led to speculation that the discovered structure under the Sea of Galilee might either be the historical well itself or a related artifact. To delve deeper into the secrets of this anomaly, researchers employed seismic air guns, a technique often used in oil and gas exploration, as well as in geological and archaeological studies. These seismic air guns propel high-pressure air into the water, creating sound waves that penetrate deep into the seabed. As these waves bounce back to the surface, they are captured by sensitive equipment, providing scientists with detailed images of the structures hidden beneath. The initial observations from these studies revealed that the massive structure seemed out of place in its natural environment. You can look at a three-dimensional image of it. It's huge. It has to be artificial. Somebody had to have assembled these huge boulders of basalt, stacking them meticulously, one on top of the other. Such formations don't just occur naturally, commented one of the researchers involved in the study. This careful placement of basalt boulders suggests that the structure was intentionally built, possibly for a specific purpose. The detailed 3D imaging not only confirmed the complexity and precision of its construction, but also gave clues to its age. Some researchers believe that the structure could date back to the early Bronze Age, roughly 4,000 to 5,000 years ago, making it a significant find both archaeologically and historically. Further investigations and analysis are necessary to uncover more about this enigmatic structure's origins and purpose. The link to Miriam's well remains a compelling hypothesis that continues to stimulate both scholarly interest and the imaginations of those fascinated by biblical archaeology. This discovery could potentially reshape our understanding of the region's ancient past, offering new insights into the historical and religious context of the area surrounding the Sea of Galilee. The use of seismic air guns in this context showcases the intersection of modern technology with ancient mysteries. By generating detailed images of the anomaly, researchers can examine its construction, estimate its age, and speculate about its purpose and the people who built it. This technology has opened new avenues for understanding the prehistoric and historic landscapes submerged beneath the Sea of Galilee, offering insights into the region's past that were previously inaccessible. Despite the advanced technology and the interesting findings, the exact purpose and origin of the Sea of Galilee anomaly still needs to be determined. Some scholars suggest it could have been a monumental structure, perhaps a burial mound or a ceremonial site. So the million-dollar question, what the hell is this thing? Indeed, it reminds me of a cairn, or in other words, an artificial stone mount covering a tomb underneath. With every layer of earth and stone uncovered, could we be close to changing our understanding of history, maritime craftsmen of the Bronze Age? Some scholars suggest that the underwater structure might have been crucial in religious practices or ancient ceremonies. Though still unproven, this theory proposes that the structure could be linked to Miriam's well, a site mentioned in biblical stories. If true, this connection would not only add a layer of intrigue to the structure, but also bridge the historical gap between tangible archaeological findings and the spiritual narratives of the Bible. Discovered by the adventurous team from Expedition Unknown, this structure is not just large, it is colossal. Constructed from basalt boulders and stones, it forms a massive cone shape resting on the lakebed. The sheer scale of the structure and the methodical way its elements are arranged point to a highly organized effort, hinting at the involvement of numerous people in significant planning. The choice of basalt, a volcanic rock prevalent in the area, further suggests that those who built it utilized readily available local materials, possibly indicating a deep understanding of and adaptation to their environmental resources. However, the true purpose of this grand construction and the identity of its creators remains shrouded in secrecy. Early analyses of the sediment layers that envelop the structure, along with comparisons to other archaeological sites from the same era, hint that it might have been erected during the early to mid-Bronze Age. This was a time known for the rise of sophisticated societies, remarkable advancements in metalworking, and the creation of extensive trade networks that spanned the ancient Near East. Such a monumental construction likely required a well-coordinated community with robust resources and a complex social structure capable of orchestrating and sustaining large-scale architectural projects. This period marked a significant evolution in the way societies organized and sustained themselves, suggesting that the structure could have been central to community life or served a pivotal role in the region's socioeconomic or religious activities. Whether it was a hub for trade, a religious site, or a monument to social or political unity, the implications of such a structure are profound, offering insights into the capabilities and cultural priorities of ancient civilizations in the region. As research continues, each piece of evidence could help unravel the mysteries of who built this structure and why, potentially rewriting our understanding of Bronze Age societies in the Near East. The discovery of this ancient structure beneath the Sea of Galilee holds profound implications that go far beyond its architectural and engineering feats. It serves as solid proof of the advanced civilizations that once flourished around this historic lake thousands of years ago. These societies were adept at creating massive and intricate structures, suggesting that they had highly developed social, religious, and ceremonial practices. The location of the structure within the lake, now submerged due to the shifting water levels over the centuries, hints at its possible importance in rituals related to water worship or as a significant landmark in the ancient landscape. This structure may have been a central piece in the daily lives of the people who lived there, possibly used as a gathering place for community events, religious ceremonies, or as a marker for seasonal changes, which were critical for agricultural societies. The presence of such an advanced architectural feat suggests these communities were socially and economically sophisticated, capable of planning and executing large-scale constructions that had a lasting impact on the region's geography and cultural memory. The story of the Exodus, a pivotal saga shared by the Jewish, Christian, and Islamic faiths, narrates the harrowing travel of the Israelites as they fled slavery in Egypt under Moses' guidance, wandering the desert in search of the Promised Land. This narrative, typically placed in the late Bronze Age, has often been scrutinized by scholars trying to pinpoint its historical validity and timeline. The newfound structure near the Sea of Galilee could shift these discussions, providing fresh context about the area during the time speculated to be around the Exodus. If this structure is indeed older than the traditionally accepted dates of the Exodus, it could reshape our understanding of the pre-Israelite cultures in the region. It would suggest that the area was a significant cultural and religious hub long before the events described in the biblical texts. This possibility opens up new avenues for understanding how the cultural and religious practices of earlier societies might have influenced the narratives that were eventually written down in the scriptures. For instance, the structure's relationship with water might illuminate why water plays such a crucial role in many biblical stories, including the story of Miriam's well, which is said to have miraculously provided water to the Israelites in the desert. Furthermore, this discovery could suggest that the biblical stories that have been passed down through generations were not only spiritual texts, but also contained elements of historical truths that reflected the geographical and societal conditions of the time. This blend of mythology and history embedded in the region's archaeological record provides a richer, more nuanced picture of the ancient Near East religious and cultural landscape. As research continues, each finding at this site could help historians and archaeologists piece together the complex puzzle of ancient societies, offering deeper insights into how the actual living conditions and societal structures of the time might have influenced the sacred narratives of the Exodus. Conversely, if further research and dating place the structure closer to the traditional timeline of the Exodus, it could offer fascinating evidence of the kinds of monumental projects that were feasible at the time. This could lend credibility to the idea that the narratives of large-scale constructions and engineering feats described in the Bible, such as the building of altars and the erection of standing stones, have a basis in the technological capabilities of the time. The quest for Moses' tomb, symbolizing the intersection of faith, history, and archaeology, has fascinated people for centuries. Moses, a towering figure in the Abrahamic religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, played a crucial role in these traditions' religious and cultural narratives. His life story, from his miraculous survival as a baby in the Nile to leading the Israelites out of Egyptian bondage and receiving the Ten Commandments from God, is foundational. Yet despite his significance, the location of his final resting place remains one of the great mysteries of religious history. Could the Sea of Galilee findings connect historical facts with sacred stories that have been told for centuries? The secret grave of the first prophet. The story of Moses' death is detailed in the Bible, specifically in the book of Deuteronomy, chapters 34, verses 1 to 6. It tells us that Moses passed away in the land of Moab and was laid to rest in a valley across from Beth Peor. However, the exact location of his grave remains unknown to this day, shrouded in secrecy and undisclosed by the scriptures. When we look at Mount Nebo, where Moses is believed to have seen the Promised Land, we find no concrete archaeological evidence to confirm his burial there, leaving many questions unanswered. Moses is also a significant figure in the Quran, where he is mentioned over 130 times, more than any other prophet. This frequent reference underscores his importance in Islamic teachings. According to these texts, Moses crossed a river and ended his travel on the side that corresponds with where we stand today, adding layers of sacred geography to these locations. This narrative also highlights the lonely nature of Moses' death, which, according to religious texts, was orchestrated by God himself. This has led to a long-standing tradition of secrecy around the precise location of his tomb, with suggestions that its secrecy was intentional to prevent any form of idol worship or excessive veneration at his grave site. In Islamic tradition, Moses, known as Musa, is revered not just as a prophet, but as a direct messenger of God. The Quran parallels his story with the biblical account, emphasizing his mission to lead the Israelites and his role as a recipient of God's messages. Islamic texts provide different views on where Moses might be buried. Some suggest his final resting place is near the Red Dunes of Rum in Jordan, while others claim it is closer to Jericho in the West Bank. Among the most cherished sites linked to Moses within Islamic culture is the tomb of Nabi Musa in the West Bank. For centuries, this site, which includes a mosque and a mausoleum, has been a center of pilgrimage and deep veneration, reflecting the profound respect and affection that Muslims hold for Moses. The dark history of Moses' burial site fascinates scholars and the faithful across different religions. This ongoing intrigue not only enriches the historical and spiritual discourse surrounding Moses, but also enhances the cultural and religious significance of the regions associated with his life and death. As explorations and studies continue, each piece of historical and archaeological evidence potentially brings us closer to understanding more about the life and legacy of one of history's most pivotal figures. The annual Nabi Musa pilgrimage, a tradition that dates back hundreds of years, underscores the significance of Moses in the collective Muslim consciousness and the spiritual landscape of the region. The search for Moses' tomb is a journey that goes beyond mere physical exploration. It is a quest that touches upon the profound depths of faith, history, and spiritual longing. Archaeologists and scholars from various disciplines have proposed theories and conducted explorations, yet the tomb's elusive nature remains much like the biblical and Quranic narratives that cloak it in secrecy and reverence. So do we know who's inside this? This was Moses, relying on Muslim traditions. And then they pointed to this place, and from the 13th century, it became a whole compound. This quest highlights the challenges of reconciling historical and archaeological inquiry with sacred traditions. While the desire to locate Moses' tomb is driven by a deep-seated human yearning for connection with the divine and the historical, it is tempered by the recognition of the tomb's symbolic significance that goes beyond its physical reality. The search is not merely for a burial site, but a deeper understanding and appreciation of Moses' legacy and enduring impact on religious thought and moral philosophy. Nabi Musa, an ancient and revered site situated in the stark rolling hills of the Judean desert, stands as a testament to the enduring legacy of one of the most significant figures in Abrahamic religions, Moses, or Musa, as he is known in Islam. This sacred secrecy, located some 30 kilometers east of Jerusalem and not far from the Dead Sea, has captivated the hearts and minds of the faithful for centuries, serving as a focal point of religious devotion, pilgrimage, and cultural heritage. This is one of the great challenges: how to look at the stories of the Bible, the stories of the Quran, and places like this, and find that intersection between faith and history and archaeology, because we don't really know what's here. But spiritually, it's a place that's true for so many people. With all the debates and theories, are we nearing a discovery that could transform our view of biblical history? Discovering Moses' Islamic revelations at Mount Nebo. Although Islamic texts do not explicitly state that Nabi Musa is the burial place of Moses, the site holds immense spiritual and historical value within the Islamic community. The belief in its connection to Moses has been upheld through centuries, anchored in traditions passed down through generations. Nabi Musa's origins trace back to the medieval era, specifically to the early 13th century, when the shrine and mosque complex were first established under the rule of Mamluk Sultan Baybars. Over the years, the site has seen numerous modifications and enhancements, each addition reflecting its escalating significance within the Islamic world. Annually, Nabi Musa becomes the focal point of devout activity during the pilgrimage aligned with the Muslim celebration of Laylat al-Miraj. This event commemorates the Prophet Muhammad's miraculous night travel and subsequent ascension to heaven. The long-standing tradition of this pilgrimage, which has been observed for hundreds of years, serves to reinforce the deep spiritual connection felt by the Muslim community to this site. For many, Nabi Musa is not just a historical site. It is a living symbol of their faith and a central part of their religious and communal identity. The foundation of the belief that Nabi Musa is the final resting place of Moses is deeply embedded in Islamic culture, supported by the teachings of various scholars and historians over the ages. Some narratives suggest that the exact location of Moses' tomb was revealed through a divine vision or dream, further mystifying and sanctifying the site in the eyes of the faithful. Despite the lack of concrete archaeological evidence to confirm these claims, such stories have imbued Nabi Musa with an aura of sanctity, making it a revered place of pilgrimage and veneration. This reverence is evident not only in the religious practices observed at Nabi Musa, but also in the way it has been preserved and honored throughout history. The mosque and shrine complex at Nabi Musa have been carefully maintained and periodically renovated, ensuring that they continue to serve as a beacon of faith and history. These efforts underscore the site's importance as a bridge between the past and present, connecting contemporary followers of Islam with their rich historical and spiritual heritage. Moreover, the site's significance is amplified by its association with Moses, a key figure in Islam as well as in Judaism and Christianity. This shared reverence across major religions adds layers of interfaith importance to Nabi Musa, marking it as a place where diverse cultural and religious narratives converge. The annual pilgrimage to Nabi Musa is not just a ritual, it is a profound expression of communal faith, a reaffirmation of spiritual bonds, and a celebration of the enduring legacy of one of the most revered prophets in history. Has this ever been opened, examined? It's religion. You don't mix religion with science and excavations, especially in the Holy Land. Archaeologists and historians are keenly aware of the delicate balance between uncovering the past and honoring the spiritual significance of sacred sites at Nabi Musa. Any archaeological investigation must be conducted with the utmost sensitivity and respect for the site's religious and cultural heritage. The potential for archaeological research to alter or challenge traditional beliefs about Moses' tomb adds a layer of complexity to such endeavors, requiring a collaborative approach that engages religious authorities and the local community in the research process. Over the years, Mount Nebo has been a beacon for those wishing to connect with a pivotal biblical event and walk where Moses once walked. Its significance is further accentuated by the presence of early Christian mosaics, a well-preserved monastery, and a church, all of which speak volumes about the long-standing veneration of this site. These artifacts, some of which date back to the 4th century AD, provide a window into how the early Christian community revered Moses and sought to commemorate his life and deeds. The Franciscan order, steward of Mount Nebo since the early 20th century, has been pivotal in preserving and excavating the site, revealing artifacts and features that underscore its historical and religious value. The intricate mosaics found here, renowned for their elaborate designs and spiritual motifs, are considered some of the most significant in the Middle East, illustrating the rich interweaving of art, faith, and history that Mount Nebo represents. The ongoing archaeological work conducted by the Franciscans has not only helped preserve these important religious artifacts, but also provided greater insight into the early Christian era and the site's evolution over millennia. Each discovery made at Mount Nebo helps to enrich our understanding of its historical context and the layers of religious devotion it has inspired. Such findings reinforce the site's status as a cultural and historical treasure, deeply cherished in the collective memory of several religious traditions. The profound spiritual resonance of Mount Nebo is palpable, not just in the artifacts and buildings that adorn its landscape, but also in the serene and contemplative atmosphere that envelops it. Visitors and pilgrims who come to Mount Nebo often speak of the profound sense of history and spirituality that the site imparts, offering them a direct link to biblical times and the profound narratives associated with Moses. This connection makes Mount Nebo not just a place of historical interest, but a vital living bridge to the past, continually fostering spiritual enrichment and cultural continuity among the diverse groups that hold it dear. In this way, Mount Nebo stands not only as a testament to the enduring legacy of Moses, but also as a symbol of the enduring power of faith and the human desire to connect with our sacred histories. It remains a focal point for understanding how historical narratives and spiritual traditions can intersect, providing profound insights into the past and inspiring faith and reflection in the present. Could Moses' tomb really hold ancient secrets, or are we chasing myths? What do you think? Don't forget to like and subscribe for more intriguing updates.